Very interesting day for me today, and really this week in general. So, we've had a class on property tax protesting now twice leading up to tax season, which we're in right now at the moment, specifically property tax season. And I've learned quite a bit about protesting, how Tarrant County, specifically here in Fort Worth, Texas, Tarrant County Appraisal District works. And as a homeowner, as a landlord, or whatever it is, maybe you're helping a family member, how exactly to go about doing that. So I went by the appraisal district office today and I protested my taxes. I even protested somebody else's house as well on their behalf. And so there's a couple options about how to do it. I ended up not taking the very specific route. I'm still trying to learn a little bit more about how that might work and a couple aces in the hole that we may have to be able to use going down the road, which hopefully we'll be able to get all the exact details on about how that works and if it will work. But in the meantime, what happens is you get these blue notices in the mail. Okay, these blue notices will tell you, um, they give you an account number, they give you an online PIN, they tell you to go online and file for protesting, which right now the online site's not even up, so very confusing. I went in there and I elaborated that to them and said, "Oh, well, that's not available yet. Maybe in a couple days," they said. Today is April 24th, for example. So a little confusing. So I just went in there and I said, "Help me out. Explain to me the process." I've heard from other people who protest on as a company. I'm trying to do this. I get a lot of questions as a loan officer, as a mortgage broker, mortgage advisor, all my titles, right? I've heard a lot from clients who say, "Hey, my taxes have gone up. Why is the escrow account, my monthly mortgage payments, why is it going up?" Well, it's because of the escrow accounts, because taxes or insurance are rising. And so you have to take advantage of tax protesting that's available in Texas and Tarrant County, specifically here where I'm giving these examples, to try to get your monthly mortgage payment to come down. So interest rates aren't helping us, higher for longer for rates right now. So we don't know exactly when those refinance opportunities may come to be. But in the meantime, we can at least try to get the escrow account in the right way, right? Every year, make sure you are rechecking your homeowner's insurance. Shop that every year, because if you don't, they're just going to automatically increase at a steady rate over time. So if you're someone who's had homeowner's insurance for 10 years and you've never done anything about it, you just renew every year automatically, there's probably a better insurance rate out there for you that you can shop and maybe get new client discounts somewhere else. Well, the same goes for these property taxes. We can get your monthly payments a little bit lower if you protest. Even if it's $30 a month, that adds up over time, and you're not just giving that money away. So you get these notices, they tell you what your market value is. So if you have a rental property, one thing I learned today is that the market and the appraised value will be the same because you won't have any exemptions. Here in Texas, we have homestead exemptions. So if you have that, then the market value and the appraised value might be a little bit different. And you'll notice, because of all the different taxable values for the county, the hospital, the college, the ISD, the city, and the water district, may all be different based on what you're getting in your homestead exemption, which new law passed last year. And in some cases, escrow accounts have not caught up with even the law that was passed last year yet. So in my case, my taxes never changed. I have to investigate further with my escrow company. Why haven't you reflected the change in my homestead exemption? I should be receiving a discount. So lots of things to consider on that front alone. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more researching with the escrow companies and why they're not matched up with tax values that they should be with homestead. But in the meantime, uh, all I did was go down there. I asked some questions. I asked to see the comps that they use to give me the value that they, say they're going to tax me on. And so they print out 6 different comps. They give you your subject property and then 2 different pages of different comps. It's just labeled right here: comparables report, subject, comp 1 through 6. They weight them. So 1 through, he said they could even go up into the thousands. But if it's a 1, then they really feel that it's a really close match to the comparables of your home. So square footage, year built, what size your garage is. All those things were things that he really discussed over and over. And so, if you see a comp and it says 150, which I have right here, my sixth comp says the comp object index value is 150. That means it's really not a close comp. There's some differences, maybe square footages, maybe year built, something like that. And so, not as close of a comp. They're going to rank heavier on the comps that are labeled 1 through 3 rather than 4 through 6, for example. And so, just talking to them about the comps, making sure they were using comparable houses on my street, not across the street in a new development neighborhood just because it's within a half a mile, right? Really double checking their work. It's all based on an algorithm. The algorithm is really pretty accurate. And then, I talked about how a lot of times realtors will provide comps to people. They'll come in here to the appraisal district and then, say, hey, we want here based on these comps, we want a lower value. Well, he says, have you adjusted those comps is the question that they ask those folks. So what they do is they adjust based on the interior square footage. So if you've got a 1,500 square foot house and you're comparing against a 1,300 square foot house, well, that's a difference. And that difference, they actually times by $65 a foot. And then on the garage, they compare the garage, the size of the garage, and they value that by $1 per square foot. And then using those numbers, you can kind of tell if you've got a case to be able to protest to make it lower. So if their top comps are different in size and the other ones are bigger, well, you should not be taxed at that same level. And you can use their math and those square foot numbers per dollar to help, make your case. There's another way to do it, which is taking the median value of what they call equity of homes that have not been sold lately. And so if you have 5 neighbors that have the same floor plan as you, or let's say 9 neighbors to make it easy, have the same floor plan as you, then they're going to take those 9 properties and then they're going to take the median value. So the number 5 property effectively. And, that's how they're going to tax everyone. So whatever the number 5 tax rate would be, all 9 will be, that's how they assess it. And that's part of their algorithm. So really interesting. The lot values, they often will give about 50,000 per lot is what he's telling me, because most of these lots today are by builders. A lot of the houses are pretty much the same going through the neighborhood, varying floor plans, of course, but more or less the same size lots. And they assign value and then they go from there, whether it's the comparable sales or the equity comps, the ones that have not sold recently. So learned a lot. There's a couple different ways to protest. And in the end, I was able to save on the properties that I went there for just by talking to him, checking him on the comps. And then they gave an offer. So they call it an informal protest. When you talk to the review board in person, you stand there right in front of them. They click, they print off these things for me. They talk to me. And then based on the values that I thought that maybe I could get if I showed comps, they made an offer. And all 3 of them were a little bit lower than what I thought even that I might be able to try to protest it down to get. And so in the end, the offer was great. I took the offer and now I'm done. I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. And my escrow accounts will come down. I am a landlord, so my rental property will have a little bit better net going forward next year until new tax season. But it does take time for the escrow companies and the servicers to, the district, the appraisal district, to send, and lock in the information, and then B, the servicers, the people who hold the escrow accounts and service those escrow accounts, to accept that information and then put it into the new escrow. So I'm going to nudge them and call them and say, hey, we want to go ahead and get this started so we don't have to push money forward. But that's what happens, and that's why hopefully I'll get a refund check down the road because I've been overpaying. And then they'll reassess retroactive to when the appraised values change, and I'll get a refund check. And so if you don't do this, though, you might find yourself owing taxes because you didn't pay enough. So really super important stuff in Texas with property taxes because we have no state income tax. It's a way for a lot of the entities around here, school, fire, all this kind of stuff, to raise money. And it's necessary to keep things going the way the system works. But at the same time, make sure you're helping yourself out, helping your numbers out, especially in times like these where every dollar can really matter per month. Go in and protest. Do yourself a favor. If you don't even have to do any research, you just go in there, say, will you offer me a lower amount than the blue notice you sent me in the mail? They will say yes. They will give you value, And at the very least, you can just say yes to that new lower value and move on with your day. There was no line. There won't be a line until we get closer to the deadline of May 15th. Do not be the last one to go in there, of course. But yeah, very interesting process. Really not that difficult. Nice people in there. They actually do want to help you. But one or two of them I was listening to talk to the other folks, and they were saying, "Hey, what's your evidence?" So if you can be prepared and you can go in there with proper photos, maybe some contractor quotes of things you know need to be fixed in your home, you can get an even lower value. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Obviously, if you're looking into situations you want to pull cash right now, do different projects on the home. Talk to me about timing, when to do that, how to help make sure next year the tax values could be a little bit better. And then if you want to tap into the equity to do that with a cash out refinance or something of that nature, obviously that's what we do as a mortgage broker. If you have questions about buying a house, buying rental property, trying to take advantage of the market right now while it's a little funky because real estate is a long game, let us know. We'll help you out. We'll do everything we can to get you set on that path of financial independence, right? Building wealth through real estate. It is a long term game. Hopefully, this rambling experience is valuable to you. And if you have questions, let me know. Like I said, I've been doing tons of research. Really was going to be prepared, go in there with all these different things and try to get them way down. I probably could have gotten them down a little bit lower, but for the effort and time and what they offered, I liked it and I jumped on it. So hopefully you can do the same thing. Go save yourself $50 a month. Who would say no to a $50 bill if it was standing there right there on the ground? You'd pick it up, right? So give us a call, follow, like the pages, and we're here to provide real information as we learn it. The market is always changing. So let us be a resource for you. I hope you have a great day.